evening, everyone. Welcome to another exciting edition of Pardon Our Picks, where perfection is a work in progress. I'm your host, Sam. Alongside me, as always, is the crew. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing real good, Sam. You seem to forgot the memo about backwards hat say, but it's fine. We'll carry on without you.
Well, you know, sometimes people don't tell me things.
When we have to wake you up.
Wake me up.
Your wife told my wife you were sleeping.
Gave it away, huh? Okay.
Yep.
Anyway, of course, we are brought to you by Aardvark Concepts Incorporated, more than just a sign shop. Check them out in Westminster for all your sign and decal needs. And in Too Deep of Maryland, check them out on Facebook. Get information on their next show. And then, of course,
One Man's Demon, written by my father, Brian, and me. We are at, I think, 37 books. He has not responded to my text message, so Dad, when you see this, know that you suck at texting back. But remember, till the end of the regular season, if we get to 100 books sold, I will shave my head on screen.
Sweet. Everybody looks forward to that, because that will be an amazing opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So, week 14's here. We got, 5 more weeks of football? At most.
Wow, that went really fast.
It did. The last bye weeks are here. This is the last week for bye weeks. Which makes sense. You know, Thanksgiving just happened. Exactly, Carol. Exactly.
What did she say? I missed it.
She said this.
Oh my gosh.
That's right.
That's just a funny scenario in my head. I just want to see if she'll actually buy all the books from your dad.
She won't. You know, there is that will she, won't she kind of factor. But, of course, we're getting off topic. One of those things we do. Interesting week last week. For the most part, we pretty much knew what was going to happen in most of these games, but some of them came out of left field. Along with our 2 top seeds in the AFC, NFC. And breaking news, those 2 top seeds are 2 seeds that nobody thought would be there this year, and the New England Patriots and the Chicago Bears. With 4-5 weeks to go, are they Super Bowl contenders? Okay.
I think they are. I think more so. I know maybe doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I would lean more toward Chicago being a Super Bowl contender than New England. New England looks really cohesive, and Mac Jones has vastly improved. He's making really smart plays on the field and getting the ball out quicker than any other quarterback. So I think they've gotten a lot of what they need, but I don't know if they're quite mature enough yet. Whereas even though Chicago has some younger players, their second-year quarterback for one, that is finally looking like people thought that he would look last year. I think they expected a lot out of them last year and it didn't deliver. So I think this year it's more, you can expect it a little bit more. So I would lean more towards Chicago being able to make it. But they'd have to take out the Rams too.
I agree with Jess. I think out of the 2, I think the Bears are the more Super Bowl contenders, mainly because the Patriots have played like a baby soft schedule this year. And I know that's, based on their previous records and things like that. And, they're beating the teams that you should beat, but they did lose to the Raiders in week 1. But the Bears play in a arguably very competitive division, like on paper. And they're currently on top, and like Sam said, nobody expected them to be on top when the Lions essentially brought back the exact same team as last year and can barely get out of their own way this year. While Drake May, not Mac Jones, has looked really good for the Patriots, I do see them being that one and done team in the playoffs, just because of the schedule that they played, and when they play up against a contender, I don't see them matching up well.
Did I
but
say Mac Jones?
you did say Mac Jones.
Oh my God, sorry. Also, somebody's clicking and, is loud.
Is that my typing? Sorry.
Maybe.
But I do think both teams are legitimate threats if they can play the way that they've been playing. But the Patriots do concern me because they haven't really played anybody yet.
The cool thing about going last is I don't have to add anything special if I don't have anything. The other two mentioned all my points that I had set up really quick before this video started, which is so yeah. I'm with the. I think the Bears. If I have to pick one, I think the Bears. Brady brought the soft schedule because I was also looking at other things and just the other division leaders about who right now. Ravens are on top and going into the playoffs, and I don't think they're going past the wild card round. But it just got me thinking about all these other teams that may or may not make it and what's going on. So, yeah, if we're just talking about these two, if I have to pick one, I'll pick the Bears over the Patriots.
Quite frankly, I'm selling both of these teams as Super Bowl contenders. I think it's too early for them. I think it's just not viable. Yeah, New England had a soft schedule, but the Bears, they beat Philadelphia last week, a team that's been reeling, a team that hasn't been itself in a while, and they beat the Lions. They lost to the Lions earlier in the season. Yeah, they lost to the Lions earlier in the season, 52-21. They haven't really beaten anybody big other than the Eagles. So,
Are the Cowboys not a big team, Sam?
the Cowboys at the time were a crappy team, and no, they're not a great team. They have a great offense, but the terrible defense. So, and unless you lump the Steelers in with good teams, I wouldn't lump them in with teams they have beaten that are good. Now they're going to have their chance to prove themselves. They have the Packers twice, the team that is just about tied with them. And then the Lions at the end of the year in order to close it out. But I think both of these teams are a year or two ahead of being Super Bowl contenders. I think they both obviously make the playoffs, but I think that they are early exits out of the playoffs because of inexperience. Speaking of inexperience, let's see what kind of experience we got last week. Y'all got experience being actually.
I didn't hear. I
what
think
you
you just said.
Yeah. We
Probably
got
for
some
the
serious
best.
mic issues today.
Me?
The sound interference today, like between now, Sam, you just try to talk, and then it was like.
Really?
I
Yep.
don't know, I'm just saying we're having sound issues.
Well, it's better than you freezing every other frame like 2 weeks ago.
That is true.
Yes. So, perfection, work in progress, but good week for me, decent week for Jessica and Brady and Tarek. Had an okay week.
Yeah, right off the bat, you went up like 4 games on most people.
Mm-hmm.
And for the
Sure.
record, man, I was kicking myself because I kept saying I need to switch my pick to Chicago, and I didn't. And then I was like, oh, but I am very happy they won. Either way,
I think we all
Yeah.
are.
There's just a couple of upsets, and all those upsets were ones I picked. So, but yeah, if this was another week, we'd all kind of be there. You just happen to do really well, Sam, and
Those early games really set you on that razor's edge early.
Yeah, well, I get lucky every once in a while. This was just one of those weeks. Thanks. All right, now let's get into our game of the week, and we're going to deal with one of those aforementioned top-tier teams. And that's going to be the Chicago Bears at the Green Bay Packers for first in their division. What do you guys think?
I think it's a great game of the week to talk about personally. Really, the Green Bay Packers, they were, the talk of the offseason with the trade that acquired Micah Parsons, but their offense really kind of started clicking, and up until Tucker Kraft got injured and he was out for the season, and their offense really hasn't looked 100%. since. They've looked good, but they've also had a lot of stagnant drives that have just petered out, whether that be the weeks where Josh Jacobs doesn't play because of his knee injury, or Jordan Love just isn't on the same page with one of his 8 receivers that he has because they're constantly swapping in and out. And the Chicago Bears, I think, are in a year of surprises, are the surprise team because of how bad they looked last year and how relatively good they have looked this entire year, carried by that defense that is thriving on takeaways. So I see this being a low-scoring game. I see this being a game rife with turnovers because Caleb Williams is going to get sacked by Michael Parsons and probably fumble the ball a couple of times. I think Jordan Love is going to throw a couple of picks. But let me check because I forget who I picked. I'm going with the Bears in this one in a little bit of an upset because they are kind of riding that momentum. And I don't know if Jordan Love is still 100% after leaving last week's game for a drive and a half. So we're going to see what happens. But I'm going with Chicago on this one.
So, I actually also went with Chicago, but do you want to come over here? I also went with Chicago as a bit of an upset, and I think it's even more of an upset considering it's at Lambeau Field. But I think Green Bay's defense has relatively kept them in the game. Some of these games that they've been in, because the offense has just looked disjointed, and I don't think it was just Kraft going out. But they just don't look cohesive at all. Whereas I feel like Chicago, their weakest point is still not that bad. Their passing game is okay, but it's not terrible, So I do see Love making some mistakes this week, and I think I'm going with Chicago by at least a touchdown.
I'm going to be contrarian and pick the Packers just because. You guys all hit really good points. I'm looking at just the streaks and what everybody's doing. Both teams are looking really well. I think it's a good fight for the division title. Stop. Sorry, being distracted by audience members. And I completely lost what I was going to say. But bottom line is I'm picking the Packers.
I am also picking the Packers. Thanks, Nate. And quite frankly, I don't think it's going to be as close as people think it is. I think Green Bay actually puts up points in this one simply because, it's a division game. They haven't put up a lot of points recently, and I think they put up a lot of points here because they know their opponent well. Chicago, I think, struggles with that Green Bay defense. Caleb Williams will throw some interceptions, maybe fumble the ball. He's prone to doing that. He scrambles a bit. And I got Green Bay winning this one.
You better hope for your fantasy sake Jordan Love doesn't throw a whole bunch of touchdowns, Sam.
That's right. I do play you, don't I?
Mm-hmm.
And I need a win desperately. I'll do anything.
What's the injury news around this game?
Injury news?
Yeah, looks like the Bears have some questionable players. Cornerback, linebacker, defensive end, linebacker. Packers have Williams as their wide receiver is questionable. Linebacker, cornerback. Golden is questionable. And Brooks, defensive end. Doesn't sound like anybody too major, but
yeah.
I don't know, man. Chicago is getting moving at the right time. They just destroyed, not that, Philly looks that great, but
yeah.
No one looks that great right now. So that's that kind of year.
Yeah.
So, of the ones that look, pretty good, the Eagles are one of them.
Yeah, well, I got Green Bay winning this one. And there's, like I said, there's not a big issue with injuries this week. So,
Yeah.
I got Green Bay. Anyway, let's get into our pop panel quick pick'ems. Let's take a look, and I'm the only one who picked Dallas this week.
That one I definitely went back and forth on. I don't think Detroit's looked very good, and I think it could go either way, so you might get a leg up there.
Yeah, I really think it is how if Quinnen Williams is still 100% after the Thanksgiving game. I know normally when you play on Thursdays, you get more than 7 days, but Dallas is coming right back and playing again on Thursday this week. But
Detroit.
It's true.
They're both going Thursday. Yeah.
But I didn't see them having many major injuries of during their game. So it's really going to be if Quinnen Williams plays, he's going to shut down as much as he can the Detroit run game. And Detroit's offense has really when the Detroit doesn't have a run game going, they don't have a pass game. And if Amon-Ra St. Brown can play in this game, which I think he will,
He's out.
oh, they've ruled him out.
No, but I think he's out.
No, I think he'll play. But it's really going to predicate on whether Detroit can get their run game going.
Yeah, and it's two high-powered offenses. I guess they are. I just still can't accept that Cowboys have a top offense, but it's two high-powered offenses with very questionable defenses, and the Detroit Lions defense shouldn't be questionable, but it is. So we'll see how that goes.
It's George Pickens, man. George Pickens has put up yards this year.
Pickens is good, man. He really is.
He's going to get paid by some team that's not the Dallas Cowboys.
Either one.
All right. Tarek, the only one that believes the hapless Vikings will get a victory this week.
Do I?
Yes.
Let me double check that. I think I was just picking really quick and going off of what Yahoo said. Let me double check here.
To be fair, does anybody know if O'Connell will be back this week?
O'Connell, the coach.
Sorry, that's the coach.
McCarthy?
McCarthy.
Not like it's going to change anything. I mean, he's looked awful. His last start, he had a lower QBR than if he went out there and spiked the ball every single time. And that's not a joke. That is a legitimate thing. I don't care if it's Marcus Mariota or, Joe Theismann himself at quarterback this week. I'm not picking Minnesota. I can't.
Yeah, but it's hard to pick Washington, especially without Jaden Daniels. They're doing okay, but they're not doing great. They don't. So it's
okay is good enough to beat Minnesota.
Didn't they almost just beat Denver?
Mm-hmm.
We don't talk about that.
I will say the only game on here that I was questioning is the Miami Jets game. The Jets have been playing decent football, and Miami has gotten hot, but we know Miami to be the team they'll spike and then they'll floor right after that.
See,
and
my
Tua will
question
get a concussion. He's not even
Mm.
playing.
What'd you say, Sam?
I was going to say my questionable game was the Colts. Colts Jaguars, man. That's for the division lead as well.
Yeah, the Colts offense is really kind of stagnated ever since Daniel Jones. He's playing with a leg fracture, which again, I'm wondering what's going on in all of these team doctors' heads. It's oh, you have a torn rotator cuff. You can still play. You have a leg fracture. You can what are we doing? That doesn't equate to me. But I do think though that this is a week where the offense gets rolling back on the back of Jonathan Taylor through that defense. But we'll see. I mean, again, Tampa Bay. Who knows? Because Baker Mayfield's playing with a sprained AC joint in his non-throwing shoulder.
Who had it? Someone had a finger that every time they touched, kept dislocating, and they ended up having to stick a pin in it on the sideline because every time they went to touch somebody, it would fall off. So I mean, I was reading about that last week, and I can't remember who it was, but they dislocated a finger, and every time they popped it back in, every time it touched something would pop back out.
I have no idea who that is. But
I know Herbert dislocated a finger last week.
I thought that was a wrist thing.
He cost me my other league, but
he
that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. Anyway, of course, we're all going Ravens over the Steelers because nobody believes in Aaron Rodgers.
I actually am worried about this game.
It's one of those games where it's I can see it going either way, but I can't when Aaron Rodgers and his old brittle butt gets hit once and then he's out for.
Yeah, but who's going to hit him? I mean, we're having trouble rushing the passer. He is slow. Okay, so there's a chance. But I mean, does he have a decent line? I don't know. Like,
They
have they been
haven't
able to?
complete- Now, granted, I say this, and it's probably going to happen on the very first play of this game, but the Steelers have not completed a downfield pass between 10 and 20 yards in like the last 11 quarters.
Right, but they're going against the Ravens, who have a banged up secondary. They have
Right.
players out, and if the Ravens play like they did last week, they will lose. It doesn't matter how the Steelers play.
Agreed, 100%. But I feel like having the 10-day span where, as we talked about last week, Lamar's leg injury comes out of his foot and seeps into the ground and disperses amongst nature and never comes back again. This may be the week where the Ravens offense maybe finally gets on track and we look a little bit better. But again, we've said that.
And if we do anything good, the refs pull it back.
Yeah, well, don't get me started on that. I went in on
That's
my father
funny.
about that last week.
Carol, was that Dan?
Huh?
Was that our resident Steelers fan, Dan? Carol, let me know.
There are two opposite ends of the country. Carol's in Texas, Dan's in Washington, Oregon. So
And we have a very limited.
We
Audience.
need to sprout. We are friends to plant seeds and sprouts. What we need to
right,
work on.
I'm trying. I'm trying to get other friends to watch and get their friends so that we're spread out because we got Nate's in Wisconsin, we got Dan in
We need to
Washington,
check the
Oregon,
algorithm.
Carol in Texas. We're spreading out.
He needs a viewing party in Wisconsin and a viewing party in Colorado, obviously.
They've got enough snow; they can just projector it onto the snow.
That's right. Draw the people in. Me and Jessica, the only ones that believe that Houston will beat Kansas City. And is it more flight of fancy than anything else?
I mean, it's the defense, man. The defense is a monster. And Eagles are struggling as is against normal teams. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Possibly getting more snow.
Huh?
Oh gosh.
This feels like one of those games, especially because it's an Arrowhead. It's hard to pick against Kansas City, and with aforementioned Justin Herbert potentially being out because he's had surgery on Monday, I think, on his wrist.
You're talking
There's
about
still-
a different team.
Huh?
That
Justin
would be
Herbert's
the
not playing
Chargers.
in Arrowhead.
No, I jumped to the second game because you talked about
okay.
Philly.
We all thought you were talking about Kansas City, Houston.
Oh no!
Yeah.
End point of hard to pick against Kansas City in Arrowhead this late in the season. Period. And
Also,
Semicolon.
and
the other
also
game.
it's hard to potentially pick again with a Trey Lance led Chargers team because we don't know what that looks like because he's only ever essentially played in garbage time or with San Francisco when he was touted as the next hotness and he wound up being 3-week-old laundry. So
yeah, I don't think we need to explain our Eagles pick. I think Sam might need to explain his Chargers pick.
I actually thought that
Herbert,
Herbert was going to be in this week.
it's
he's
a
day
potential.
to day.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he had surgery on Monday on his wrist. I can't imagine non-throwing hand, but I feel like with that makeshift patchwork line that he's had all year, like if he's an ounce of not ready, they're not going to chance it because that could just ruin that kid's career.
Well, you guys all know my policy. I don't change my picks. So going with the Chargers all the way, whether they win or lose.
All right.
Juxtaposition of the siblings. One who never changes their picks and one who always changes their
Always
picks.
changes their
You
picks.
guys act like I flip every pick.
Guys,
We need
if
some
we
pancakes
have
here.
a text chain of like whenever someone changes their picks and like Sunday morning, it's just like just change, just constantly.
What?
Like my phone drains like 45% of battery just from just changing her picks.
Throughout the season, I probably changed 10% or less of my picks, for the record.
Short. That's what she.
Yeah.
10, 10.
And
So stats are reversed. That means she's changing 90% of her picks.
All right.
That's it. Did my eyes go dark for a second? Thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate you. Thank you for the live people commenting and helping make this a little bit more interactive. We appreciate it. Please click like, click subscribe so you know when we go live and when we do shorts. If me and Brady remember to do shorts. Leave a comment down there. this is our question of the week. So, do you think either one of those teams are going to be Super Bowl contenders? We'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments once everything wraps up. Get some discussion going. To continue the discussion, please click the link in the description for our Facebook group. We try to put questions and comments and different things in there, memes and whatnot. We'll try to be a little bit more interactive with that. Also in the description, Brady and his dad's book. Click that so his mom doesn't have to buy 100 copies. I think that was it.
Yeah.
As always.
Sure.
Sure. I'm Tarek.
I'm Jess.
And I forgot to pick a band to do song titles for this week.
Have you
And
been
I'm-
going the last couple of weeks?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm Sam. You guys have a great football week.
Last week was Spice Girls.
I think I knew that one.